right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the middle of a normal week. Doesn't it feel good? Yeah. Ugh. Is there anything that brings you people joy today? No. It's an early day, people. Woo woo. It is a Monday. All right, here we go. Tomorrow you have vocab, 11 through 20 in a lecture. Wednesday, 21 through 30 in a lecture. Thursday, test, focus, math, primary, do. You have a 32-minute test. Yes? Perfect. I'm going to hustle through this. You all know that I can get crazy if you people can't answer the questions I'm asking. Yes? And I'm willing to sit up here and do it for you. So the fact if I ask you a question and you can't, will I approach it with kindness or rage? Yes, I think it's important when we start this all with the same understanding. Yes? I'm very clear about what I want. You should have seen my birthday list. 4 things. I even told McCray what to buy at the store. Okay? With that being said, you need to make sure you are ready to answer my questions. Yes? Excellent. Let's have a lovely class, shall we? Let's go. Okay, Vladimir Lenin, leader of the Bolsheviks and first leader of the USSR. His first sketch of these on national and colonial questions presented at the Second Congress of the Third International, 1920. Okay, you should know a bunch of things already. Give me one thing you already know, Alex. Who is he? You should know his name. Okay, okay, I can read his name too. Who is he, Alex? He's not a dictator. He's not a dictator. He's one of the few people in history who actually believes in what they say. Riley?
He's the communist leader.
Yes, guys, he's the communist leader. He's the OG communist leader. He's the guy who overthrew. Yeah, important to know? Yeah. What else should you have recognized immediately? By the way, by just answering my questions, you get 10 points. Ethan. Yeah. So, it's actually, they're still fighting in the Civil War. So, Civil War is happening. The Russian Civil War is still happening. Okay. However, the Bolsheviks are in power. All right. Here we go. Okay. So, the present world situation in politics places on the order of the day the dictatorship of the proletariat. You should know the term proletariat. Drew. Wait, what? No. Who is the proletariat? Oh my God, Karl Marx, I taught you this about probably 8 weeks ago. He had 2 titles. What are the wealthy people called? You use it as a slang term now. Bourgeoisie. Bourgeoisie are the wealthy. Who are the working class? Proletariat. So, the dictatorship of the proletariat, so the proletariat are the working class. Okay? And all the events of world politics are inevitably concentrated around one center of gravity, the struggle of the international bourgeoisie. So who are the international bourgeoisie, Flynn? Upper class, very nice. Against the Soviet Republic, okay? So you have big man, little man complex here, which inevitably groups around it, on the one hand, the Soviet movements of the advanced working of men of all countries. On the other hand, all the national movements of emancipation of colonies, oppressed nations which have been convinced by bitter experience that there is no salvation for them except victory by the Soviet government over world imperialism. Woski Bobrovsky. Simplify it. What is he saying here? There are 2 sides to the Soviet Union. The one side is the bourgeoisie versus who? Versus proletariat. What is the other side? He has 2 hands. What is the other side, Kent? We have bourgeoisie versus proletariat. What's the other side of the argument here? There you go. Well, not imperialism. Imperialism versus Soviets. Okay, the Soviets are anti-imperialism. Why are they anti-imperialism? Jordan, why? They're what economic system? What economic system are the communists? Oh my gosh, Jordan. Olivia. They're communist. Because they're commies. Yes? Which means, are they about making as much money or equal distribution? Equal distribution. So that's kind of anti-imperialism, yes? Okay. So we cannot therefore any longer confine ourselves to recognizing and proclaiming the union of all workers of all countries. It is henceforth necessary to pursue the realization of the strictest union of all national and colonial movements of emancipation with Soviet Russia. So, all of a sudden, the Soviets are championing what cause, Callie? What is their big cause, Callie? It literally says it on the paper. Guys, I'm getting annoyed. I told you. Danny. I literally underlined it, guys. It's not that hard.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means.
Emancipation?
Yeah,
Emancipation Proclamation in the United States government meant what?
I don't know.
You don't know what the Emancipation Proclamation is?
Well, I don't know what emancipation is.
Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation?
I mean, you repeating it doesn't help me understand.
What is the Emancipation Proclamation written in 1863 by Abraham Lincoln in the middle of the Civil War meant, Riley? Yeah, so what does emancipation mean? Freedom. Guys, use the words you do know to figure out the things you don't. Tie it to something. Emancipation, you've heard the word before. Freedom of colonies, ladies and gentlemen. By giving to this union forms corresponding to the degree of evolution of the proletarian movement among the proletariat of each country, or the democratic bourgeoisie movements of emancipation among the workers and peasants of backward countries or backward nationalities. The federal principle appears to us as transitionary form towards to complete unity of the workers of all countries. The Communist International must conclude temporary alliances with the bourgeoisie democracy of backward countries, but must never fuse with it. The class-conscious proletariat must show itself particularly circumspect towards the survivals of national sentiments in countries long oppressed and must consent to certain useful concessions. Ladies and gentlemen, who is he declaring war on? What is he declaring war on? Alex? No. He's anti-democracy because he thinks it's a sham. Colonialism. By declaring war on colonialism, who is he fighting with? Huh? Not the bourgeoisie, but who is he going after, really? Europe, right? The rest of Europe, all the wealthy people. Now, something you may or may not know, because we haven't really talked about Lenin too much. Lenin is a true believer. He really does believe in the equality of all people. He really does believe in communism. Like, he really, really does believe and really wants to be seen as the equal to the dude who owns the shop. Yeah? Now, do all of the other Soviet leaders believe in communism? Hell no! Hell no! When Lenin dies, he's replaced by a guy named Stalin, right? We all know Stalin. Okay, does Stalin believe in communism? Hell no. He uses it as a vehicle to make himself stronger. Lenin believes. Now, you don't have to agree with his beliefs, but he is a true believer. Is that something to admire? Yes, you don't have to believe in communism to admire the fact that he truly does believe in what he goes for. All right, this is all happening during what time, Diosa? What's the historical context? What Civil War? Whose Civil War? What country is it? Russian Civil War. Who is the audience of this piece? Who's the audience of this piece, Charlie? No. He did not write for this. This is all about other countries. So, other countries who are struggling with what? Who are struggling with what, Noah? There you go. Turn off your phone. What is the purpose of this piece, Lexi?
To show how Russia's
They don't declare war on Europe. They're not declaring war on Europe at all. Riley. There you go. It's to attract countries to communism, to unify against capitalist nations. Point of view. What is the view of this piece? What is Lenin conveying here, AC? No. Who's the villain of this piece? Who's the villain of the piece, Olivia? Yeah, colonizers. Are the abusers and countries need help to escape. Why is this significant? Why do we care? Why is this a significant piece? Why do we care, Noah? No. They're not trying to unify. It puts the West versus Russia. It pins them against each other. What's the long-term impact of the West versus the USSR? What's the long-term impact, Ethan? Cold War. Flip it. Woski, Bobrovsky. All right, here we go. Joseph Stalin, General Secretary of the USSR, from his pamphlet, Industrialization of the Country, 1928. Okay, I've already told you something you should know about this person. And what is it, Caesar?
I don't have this. My back is different. Even though I had the same.
Okay, then go up to the box, dude. What do you got, Eva?
he took over for Lenin.
Okay, so he's the second USSR leader. Okay. What else should we notice? What else do we know, Cole? Okay, yeah, he's not a true believer. He just uses it as a way to manipulate. Not a true believer, fine. Okay, 1928. Why is it important, Callie?
It's after the war.
Okay, USSR is in power, fine. What do you got, Riley?
The Great Depression.
Okay, yeah, but more importantly, Russia industrializes. Okay, Russia is actually industrialized by 1928. Is this the first time it industrializes? Yes. It's only been partial. It's now fully industrialized. That's a huge difference. All right, here we go. The question of a fast rate of development of industry would not face us so acutely. The question of a fast rate of development of industry would not fade us so acutely if we were not the only country, but one of the countries of a dictatorship of the proletariat. Okay? So, why is their industrialization a big deal? Why is their industrialization a big deal? What do you got? Danya.
Is it because it's the first time that Russia is fully industrialized?
Okay, but what makes it special? What makes the USSR special? Jordan will know this answer. Jordan, what makes the USSR special, Jordan? They're communists, ladies and gentlemen. They're communists. So why is it special that they industrialize? Because they are the first communist country in the world. They're also the first communist country to industrialize. If there were proletarian dictatorship, not only in our country, but in other more advanced countries as well, if that were the case, the capitalist encirclement could not be so serious a danger as it is now. So, what is the biggest threat to communism, ladies and gentlemen? Capitalism. Okay, capitalism is the biggest threat. However, what is the only solution to make it less of a threat? Look at the wording of it. What is the only thing that would make capitalism less of a threat? AC. More communism equals capitalist equals less threat. Okay? So, the question of the economic independence of our country would naturally recede into the background. We could integrate ourselves into a system of more developed proletarian states, so we could receive from them machines of making our industry and agriculture more productive, relying on them in turn with raw materials and foodstuff, and we could consequently expand our industry at a slower rate. So, ladies and gentlemen, what does Russia need more than anything? What does Russia need more than anything, Ben? No. What does Russia need more than anything? Alex? No, dude, no. What do they need more than anything, Charlie? No, guys, you're missing the whole damn point. Hello, we literally wrote down more communism equals capital less of a threat. So what do they need more than anything, Diosa? Yeah, they need more colonist countries. They need to convert more people to communism. And what will they get out if there's more communist countries, AC? More allies that they can trade with, right? To get the machines, to trade their goods and all that stuff. So, the most important thing that the Russian needs to do is to spread. Yes, guys. But you know very little that is not yet the case, and that we are still the only country of the proletarian dictatorship and surrounded by capitalist countries, many of which are far advanced of us technically and economically. But besides the external conditions, there are also internal conditions which dictate a fast rate of development for our industry as the main foundation of our entire national economy. I'm referring to the extreme backwardness of our agriculture, of its technical and cultural level. I'm referring to the existence in our country of an overwhelming preponderance of small commodity producers with their scattered and utterly backward production. What is he doing here? Like, what is he doing here? He's essentially doing what, Jimmy? Does it sound kind, Jimmy? No, he's talking shit. Why would he be talking shit about his own country? First of all, it's Stalin. Do you know anything about Stalin? No, he's not a true communist because he's using it for power. Stalin has killed more people than practically anyone else on purpose. Where Mao Zedong kills more people than anyone, that's by accident because he causes a massive famine and it kills 140 million people. Oops. Stalin kills people on purpose. He's killed more people than like Hitler by like triple digits. Okay. Now, the reason why we say Hitler's the worst is because Hitler's German, and who was on our team in World War II? Russia. So we would never say Stalin's the worst guy because he's on our team, yes? Okay, so this is why we always say Hitler's the worst, but is Hitler the worst? No, this guy is. Okay. Why is he talking so much shit about his own people, Drew? Okay, they need forward thinking. Okay, he's talking shit because he needs to wake them. That's what he calls it. Okay, which utterly backward production compared with in which our large-scale socialist industry is like an island in the midst of a sea, an island whose base is expanding daily, but which is nevertheless an island in the midst of a sea. We have assumed power in a country whose technical equipment is terribly backward, along with a few big industrial units over. Now, keep in mind, he's also talking shit because are the Soviets newly in charge or been in charge for a long time? They're newly in charge. So whose fault is it that Russia's so backward? The Czars. They're newly in charge. It's the Czars' fault. CZARS, Czars' fault. Keep that in mind. Along with a few industrial units, modern technology, we have hundreds of thousands of mills and factories of technical equipment in which the benefits all criticism from the point of view of modern achievements. At the same time, we have around us a number of capitalist countries whose industrial technique is far more developed and up to date than our country. Look at the capitalist countries and you will see that their technology is not only advancing, but advancing by leaps and bounds, outstripping the old forms of industrial technique. And so we find that on one hand, our country. So, what is he saying here? Obviously, he gets cut off because his speech is like 20 pages, and you're welcome. What is he saying here, Maya? Huh? More what? Fine. The Soviets are behind. They need to compete. Okay, so this is a rallying cry to what? Adriana. Well, they're industrializing, but they need to look towards the future. They need to keep improving. What is the historical context? What is the historical context, Leah? Russia's industrializing. Okay, well, who is the audience of this piece, Mariana? USSR citizens, absolutely. Okay, what is the purpose of this piece, Kent? There you go. Explain why the USSR has to move forward. What is the point of view of the piece? What is the hidden message here? What is he trying to get, Danny? No. Ava.
Just trying to say they need to advance and
Because what is the most important thing that the Soviets do? Flynn. Yes, they have to spread communism for what reason? Flynn. No, it's not even that. They know they can't. He just said they're dominating and all this technology. They have to spread communism or what, Lucas? Nope. Olivia.
they need more supply and things, so they need to become allies.
Okay, for why?
So longevity is
Yeah, so if you don't have longevity, what happens to you? There you go. Spread communism or they will collapse. Is that a good thing or a bad thing if you're living in a country that's on the brink of collapse? Yeah. Why is it important? Why do we care? What's the big picture here? This is going to justify what? AC. Justifies USSR's spreading of communism. And what is a country that is going to get their communism from Russia? Cuba. What is another country? Huh? Vietnam's going to. China's going to get it from Russia. All of these things. Woski, Babrovsky. All right. Take out your notebook. Let's go. What? No, communism doesn't exist. Lenin truly does believe in communism, but he did not have a communist government. It was failing in the first year and a half. So he does Lenin's plan, which we're going to talk about probably tomorrow. and to try to stabilize the economy, and it introduced some capitalism. So it doesn't exist, but Lenin is a true believer in it. Okay? What? Huh? I don't think communism in its pure form will actually exist, no. Why? Do you think everyone could share equally? Do you think humans will not be competitive and want things that other people have? Yeah. If we lost all of our possessions and you had a pretty shiny rock and I wanted a pretty shiny rock, what would I probably do to your pretty shiny rock? Yeah, of course. Especially if it's a diamond. Yes. All right, here we go. I don't know if you noticed, I expanded on my board. Let's do it. Okay. So, on Friday, we talked about the Great Depression, yes? Okay. We talked about how it's going to be caused from what part of the Treaty of Versailles, Kent? Okay, so it's going to blame everything on the War Guild Clause, which is where Germany gets blamed, not Russia. Okay, and Germany had to pay what, Lexi? Reparations, or pay I'm sorry. And that is going to trigger a worldwide collapse of the economy. Why? How does reparations cause a worldwide collapse, Owen?
Because Germany has less money and
No. Danny?
Everybody's relying on the
There you go. Everyone's depending on it. So when Germany stops paying, what happens? When Germany starts paying, what happens? Everyone collapses. There you go. And what is the last country to collapse? Hello. Don't write down what I have. Lucas, what is the last country to collapse? Why is the U.S. the last country, Lucas? No, okay, that's not true. Why, Maya? Okay, it's the last one. Hello, come on, give me some specifics here, Olivia. Yes, we're the most insulated because we're making money three ways. And how are we making money three ways, Olivia? Yes?
We're getting supplies.
Yes? We're not giving, we're selling at a very high price. And we get a percentage of the loan. Alright, interest rates. Okay, here we go. So we got down Great Depression, yes? Did we get to Dust Bowl? Partially. Perfect. Here we go. So the Dust Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. The Dust Bowl is going to be happening post World War I into World War II. Post World War I, England, France, and Germany cannot grow wheat. Why can't they grow wheat? Why, Charlie? Yeah, dude, like literally there's dead bodies and bullets everywhere. Not a great farmland at the moment. So they have to clean up all of their farmland in order to grow. But everyone in Europe still needs food. So all of a sudden the price of grain goes super high. So the U.S. could, because we're not touched by war, the U.S. is going to sell its grain to Europe at the highest prices ever because the demand is so high. Okay? So Americans are going to grow wheat all year long to make as much money as possible, and it is horrible for the soil. Why is it so bad for the soil? Why is it so bad for the soil, Leah? Actually, no offense, you're really far behind. It's not a judgment because you weren't here on Friday, right? Ava?
Because it takes a lot of soil.
Yeah, it's a ton of nutrients from the soil. So because remember, wheat is super nutrient rich. So because it's super nutrient rich, it has to get the nutrients from the soil, so it depletes the soil. Farmland that had never been used for wheat is now being converted because people want it. Okay? Because they want to make as much money. So wheat requires an incredible amount of soil nutrients. Over farming is horrible. Okay, so what you need to know. Americans are going to grow wheat, destroying the Midwest soil and creating an environmental disaster that we've yet to recover from. Okay, it creates the Dust Bowl. The soil is going to blow off the land, destroy livelihood and lives, and changes America forever. Okay, animals choked on the dust and died. Food sources, it leans right into the start of the Great Depression. Food scarcity is a huge problem, and it will cause an economic disaster that we are still being affected by. Okay? This is why fertilizer is one of the number one problems America has with polluting our own environment. Yes? And it's because of the Dust Bowl that we have to use so much fertilizer. All right, here we go. This is new stuff. Here we go. The Treaty of Versailles and the major aspects. This is where we're going. We haven't really fully discussed the Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles is going to be the answer going forward for the next 3 weeks. So when in doubt, what is the answer? Oh, you guys are so good. Here we go. So these are the major parts of the Treaty of Versailles. The first one is the War Guilt Clause. These are non-negotiable. You just need to memorize this little chart because it's going to keep coming up and up and up. Okay, War Guilt Clause. Germany has to take full responsibility for World War I. Okay? Now, this is what it is. This is the impact. Is everyone clear on the formatting? I define what it is, and then I tell you the impact. They will be mocked and shamed, which is going to create resentment. Okay? Because Germany has to take responsibility for the war, the Germans become incredibly bitter with the rest of the world. Are they going to take out some revenge? Oh, yeah. And that's called World War II. The next one is reparations, ladies and gentlemen. It's part of the War Guilt Clause. You need to know there's connection. Germany owes England, France, and the U.S. money for causing the war. Parentheses, it's an apology. The impact. It will cause the Great Depression, which we've already talked about because all of these economies are completely dependent on it. Okay? And cause the complete destruction of Germany's government and economy. Now, why is it important that Germany's economy is going to completely collapse? Why is it important? Who's going to rise into power because people are desperate? Alex. Yeah. There's a guy named Adolf Hitler. And when the economy was going fine in Russia and Germany, no one listened to Hitler because he was like an wackadoodle, an extreme part of a political party that no one listened to. However, when the economy took a major hit and people are really struggling, who didn't sound like quite as a wackadoodle? Hitler. So if the economy was better, would Hitler have risen into power? No. Okay? That's why reparations are such a big thing. If the economy was in a better place, Hitler would never have risen into power. The people of Germany thought he was a wackadoodle and kept him to the side. Because the economy takes a complete tank, he rises. The Rhine. Germany has to give France its breadbasket of land. It's embarrassing. We gotta stand. Let's go.